Good evening and welcome to the Reel McCoy podcast. I'm your host, Mephisto, and always with me, my hetero life mate, All My Feelings. Good evening to you, sir.
Hey, buddy.
And we've got a special guest, Hunter Pros. Good evening to you, sir.
Hello.
What is the Reel McCoy podcast? It's very simple. Every week, we send you off to watch a movie, any kind of movie. You watch it, you come back to us, and we discuss it. We geek on it. We take it apart, break it up, and we geek out on it. And of course, always with a little bit of levity and a little bit of fun. So let me go into this. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching, share it with your friends. It'll help us very much. Also, if you want to interact with me personally, you've got at Twitter, at Mephisto on Twitter, or on Instagram at Mephisto79, which is a little bit, I don't really post that much, but it's a way to contact me. If you want, there is our email, the Reel McCoy podcast at gmail.com. And if you don't want to watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on Twitch, which is Twitch TV / the Reel McCoy podcast. Our good guest, Hunter Pros, also has a Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv / Hunter Pros. Awesome. We asked you to go watch a very special movie this week. This month, we're celebrating kind of gangster month, and we're almost the ultimate of gangster movies, The Godfather Part 2. Let's start with Hunter Pros. I asked you backstage if you watched it. You said you did recently.
Yes.
How'd you find it? Just general.
It was good, but compared to the first one, I still think the first one's better. But the second one, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I just think it was too long.
Too long. It is 3.5 hours long. All my feelings. How was your viewing? you're a busy man sitting down to watch 3.5 hour movie is it's
Yeah.
a challenge. It's a challenge.
I will say I actually genuinely enjoyed it the two times I watched it actually this week. Um, I forgot how much I actually genuinely did enjoy this film, uh, and I even watched it the final Coppola cut that came out a couple of years ago.
Mm.
What actually had all of the subtitles removed, so it was only had the Italian.
I watched the same one. I watched it
Yeah,
in without any subtitles whatsoever, and it was like, do I have the correct version? Because I remember subtitles, and I want to
there
know.
were in the
I
original. Yeah,
want to
yeah.
know what De Niro said, but I kind of already know. So,
Yeah, I
and
had
it.
seen this movie so many times before that I knew what he already said. I got to actually to pay more attention to the intonation and how he acted in the roles in the scenes, especially everything that he had with Don Fanucci,
Oh, okay.
which we'll get to later.
Yeah, well, which we'll get to. Which we'll get to. So let's jump. I'll say. Before I get into my spiel, I enjoyed watching this movie. I watched it twice a couple of weeks ago while I was preparing and doing some, editing stuff, and I kind of forgot. I really, really love the story in this one. I put it above actually the Godfather one in terms of the story. It's for me, it's it's a story. We're gonna get into it soon, but it's a story that I've heard before. But uh, they put the whole Godfather lore on top of it and kind of masks the real story behind what's going on, and it was kind of awesome. Before we dive into everything, I wanna start off with a rant because it started the week off for me. The week started with Super Bowl Sunday. In the middle of Super Bowl Sunday, they ran a few ads, and one of the ads was for the Lord of the Rings Ring of Power. Now, you may grin and chagrin all my feelings, but you will sit here and you will be schooled. I did my reaction to the teaser trailer, and to say the least, I was not happy about it. Not at all. I was happy to see the reaction of a lot of the fans all across the globe joining hands and being synergized with the fact that we don't like this. Uh, Especially after they went out and did a full spread in Vanity Fair before the Super Bowl and going off on what characters they're going to put in, what this they're going to put in, what the story is basically like.
Yep.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it at all. I didn't like it. And of course, after the teaser trailer came out, and after things were kind of going into Shitsville, um, another, surprisingly, another cover spread in Vanity Fair dealing with the Rings of Power, talking to Patrick McKee and JD Payne, who are the showrunners for this. And suddenly you discover that, oh, wait, this story we're about to tell about the Second Age is all about the appendix to the Return of the King, and it is yay thick. Now, when I say yay thick, it's in my book, but you have to consider something. You build a 5-season long show because they've already committed to 5 seasons, and they build it up not upon the Silmarillion, which is dealing with the Second Age, which is this series is supposed to be about the Second Age. It is not dealing with the Silmarillion because they do not own the rights to the Silmarillion. They do not. They do not own the rights to the untold stories, the stories that Tolkien started and was finished by Christopher Tolkien, his son. They do not have the rights for those. That kind of give you a little bit more about the Silmarillion, about not about the Silmarillion, about the Second Age. They do not have that. They have a very short appendix that was at the end of the third book, and they base a
Yep.
five-year series on it. So they will come up with new characters. They're going to come up with new things, and they will own it all because it is all about the fucking money. They will own a
Yep.
new character.
Yeah.
They will own everything, and it will be set in a Tolkien-esque world,
Yes.
but it will not be Tolkien. But they will call it J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power.
In order to
This
entice
annoys
fans,
me
yeah.
to no end. Now, I am not a very
What I
you
will
know,
say though too is, haven't they learned already from the disaster that was the final seasons of Game of Thrones, the TV series?
no,
When they went off of the
no,
original
no.
material, it became absolutely terrible dog shit.
No, they did not learn. No, they did not. And Patrick and JD want to be the new Dave and Dave.
Yeah.
They want it. At this point, I'm thinking they want it. Now they're spending $1 billion on this show. You know, in 5 years, yes, but they already spent $650 million just to get things off the ground. They paid 200, is it 200 or $250 million just for the rights to the appendix. They don't own the Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. They don't own it. They don't own The Hobbit. They can't even lean on Peter Jackson's work.
Nope.
Let me give you an example. Just an example. I'm going to punch in. I'm sorry, Hunter, for taking a little bit of your time. What's wrong with this picture?
For right now, I can just see the screen meth.
Oh, serious? Oh, man. Let me share this again. Let me do this. Remove. We had the same problem last week, right?
Yep.
We're going to do.
We're very professional, Hunter.
We're very professional. Can't you tell? Very
There we go,
professional.
yeah.
There we go. What's wrong with this picture? There. Right there or above me. Elf. Short hair. Hold. What's wrong with this picture?
Well, the major thing is Galadriel was never actually a fighter.
Yeah, Galadriel in mithril armor. In armor.
Yeah, she was never actually a fighter. That was part of her whole thing.
There's nothing wrong with this picture. Nothing. I said it in my video. I have no qualms of black people being cast as anything. I don't care. That's a female dwarf, and she is missing a beard. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm that nitpicky.
Yep.
Tolkien was very, very specific with his entire world. And the last point, which annoys me to no end, this is Nori Brandyfoot. The hobbits were not in existence in the second age. There were people called the Harfoots. They existed at the start of the third. It is absolutely important because it's detailed in the book. Thank you, Bifford. The Lord of the Rangs. The Lord of the Wangs. Whatever. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But, and to end my little rant, I will be covering this show. I will be criticizing this show. I will be making sure they pay every single dollar for it. By the way, did you or did you not notice that Amazon Prime's prices went up a little bit this month? Did you notice? No, you didn't.
Hunter
to cover. Probably didn't notice. You know why? Because we all pay for the Prime, and we
don't even think about it. Yeah.
If you paid $14.99 or $16.99, just a little bit, just a little bit. That's not inflation. That's paying.
I do have
that's
to ask
paying
you a question,
for their
though.
venture, and I'm not a venture capitalist.
Yes, but I do have to ask you that. Why are you subjecting yourself to this? That would be akin to me watching the live action version of Cowboy Bebop and going, "This is what they got wrong," constantly. You are epitomizing hate watching. You know this, right?
What? You ask me why do I care? Because I care.
No, not that you care. I'm just asking you why are you subjecting yourself to this?
Because they will suffer my tiny like let's call my channel a mound. The mound has a 107, well, 106 because they took off one kadam to give to the Hebrew god. Never mind. I'm standing on a pile high of people that actually put down a subscription or a follow, whatever you want to call it, and support with a view or whatever, right? I owe it to those people to give them my absolute best. And my absolute best is kicking the shit out of this dead mule. Hey, I haven't seen the show. It could be fucking wonderful, but the start is very bad. Well, it can only go up from here, right? Anyway, you know what? Let's start the fucking show.
Production take 2.
Behind the screens is where I shut the fuck up and let all my feelings give us the lowdown on the things that are behind the screens, the production, the works. Take it away.
Okay. What's odd is, Puzo and Coppola actually began writing the screenplay for the sequel, this film, during the actual filming of the first Godfather.
Okay.
They were not sure whether it was going to be a success or not, but they wanted to continue the story. And it was originally titled The Death of Michael Corleone.
Yeah. Whoa, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
There were a lot of changes. Coppola wanted Scorsese to direct this.
Oh, it could have been very interesting.
But the studio vehemently refused. They made sure that he had to film this. The Senate hearings that Michael goes through in the later part of the film were actually based off of I don't know if you know any kind of the real life mob stories or anything, but based off of the Joe Valachi trials.
That's a Chicago mobster, isn't it? No, Kansas City.
Kansas City,
it's not
New
a
York,
New York
and Chicago. Yeah, he was a part in all three.
Okay.
Yep. Al Pacino hated the first draft of the film so much he refused to actually be part of the film.
Interesting.
Production was halted because the studio refused to have any other actor besides Pacino play Michael Corleone. So Coppola and Puzo had to do a rewrite in one night of all the notes that Pacino had. They did it.
Okay.
Then Pacino accepted the role and production started.
You know how they would have solved it today, right? Big dump truck, fill it with money and go to his house and dump it. Just like they did with Daniel Craig and James Bond.
Yeah. Marlon Brando originally was supposed to actually come back and play just a couple of small little flashback scenes. Most importantly, the birthday scene at the end.
Yeah.
But Brando, being Brando, decided that, oh no, Paramount had shafted me once before, so he agreed to show up, and then he just didn't show up at all.
Interesting.
That's Marlon Brando, though.
Marlon Brando literally was known as, oh, do you want me to be in your movie? Give me $100,000 for me to read your script, and I can also say no at the end of it.
He's also notorious for being the most just absolute monster on set.
Yeah.
Just the worst person to ever work with. He's a great actor, but absolute monster. You know how everything with Frank Pentangeli, he wasn't really part of the first film that much. He was a sub boss under a capo. That was done because originally, Peter Clemenza, the actor who played him, Richard Castellano,
Mm.
refused to come back to play the role because he was not paid the full amount that he was supposed to be given for the first Godfather.
Okay.
So Frank Pentangeli, that entire character got brought up because that actor refused to come
fill
back
the
to play
Michael
that. Yeah.
Clemenza role.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they had to do a full rewrite because the actor was like, "No, I'm not coming back." Shit.
Dang.
But we've covered so many. Like I said it, I've probably said it last week. We covered a lot of these movies where just the little subtle changes in everything make it from something that could have been a major disaster into like a gold nugget
Yeah.
and a big moneymaker as well.
Yeah. James Caan at the very end of the film, he was in the film only for the birthday scene, playing Sonny
Yep.
again. He refused to be in the movie as well unless he was paid the entire amount that he was paid for the first Godfather to be in that one scene.
Good
And
for
he
James Caan.
was. Yeah.
Good
He
for
got paid a
James
lot of money
Caan, man.
to be in one scene.
Always good. Always good.
The Senators actually is a litany of very famous actors, producers, and directors during the Michael's trial. And one of the senators is actually played by Roger Corman.
The director?
Yeah.
How did they do that?
It's Coppola.
Coppola.
This is one of the biggest biggest films.
The power of Coppola may not be challenged in Hollywood of the 1970s. Yeah.
Yep. All the films that were shot in Cuba were actually filmed in the Dominican Republic because obviously they couldn't.
Because Cuba.
Yeah.
And also, this was one of the. This is actually the first major U.S. film to ever have a sequel attached to it.
Really?
Yeah. A major motion picture that wasn't like some B movie slasher or some offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot. Like major motion picture. Yeah, The Godfather Part 2, because Coppola fought to get Part 2 listed in there because they wanted to keep it with the original name, but the original name didn't fit because they had to cut the scene with Michael Corleone getting killed because Pachino didn't want that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Hey, dude, if we think about it, if like Godfather 3, I don't want to bring it up because it's a sore subject.
Oh God, no.
In Godfather 3, he did die, and that movie did not do well. So maybe Pacino was right?
Man. I didn't even see it. I haven't seen the third one.
You haven't seen the third one?
Just not the
third
consider this the end of it. Consider this it was never actually a trilogy. There were only 2 films. Just that's it.
Yeah.
Really? Oh gosh.
Just think about it this way. There's only 3 Indiana Jones movies. There's only 3 Star Wars movies, depending if you like the prequels.
Okay.
Just think about it like that. There's only 1 Matrix movie. Yeah. If your world is built like that, it's a very happy world. It's very blue pilled, I know, but it's very. It's a good way of thinking. All right, let's.
Okay, then last 2 notes real quick.
One last thing.
This was the last film to have its prints made with the Technicolor dye, the actual trademark Technicolor dye, until the late 1990s.
Do you know why that is?
Because they actually went to a different version to actually reproduce prints. That's why the colors in this movie pop so much, especially the scenes in Sicily.
Yeah, the scenes in Sicily look way better than any other scene. Like, if you really watch it, I'm gonna put up the the start of the movie actually starts at Sicily at the funeral scene.
Yep.
There we go. I'm gonna put us there.
Yep.
So
then again, this last note is again, it was a huge success. Obviously, a $13 million budget on its first run, it made $48 million.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's 1974 numbers.
Yeah.
So if you put it up there, it's a budget of, let's say, with inflation and everything. I don't want to get into that, but it's about 30-ish million, 28. And it made what, 46?
48.
48.
So
So
up to
it's
like 150,
about
160 million
250,
dollars.
250,
Yeah,
240, 250. Something that
Is that how?
basically that vicinity.
Yeah.
It's not that
Anyway.
bad. So look, I'm just putting it up screen so you'll see this is like a great color palette. But when we move on to just the next one, which is the scene where they're that's gross. No. When he goes to America, this is the color palette. Just the color palette. Just to give
Yeah.
you an example, just what we're talking about, right? It's very not good. It's very not bright as well. When you see the streets of New York and everything is very dank and gray
Looks
and shit.
almost washed out.
Yeah. So basically, the first scene, and I want to focus on something, is this. Is the scene between the senator and Michael. Hunter, what do you think of this?
It seemed like it was, I'm a criminal justice student, and I've taken, gosh, now I got a brain fart. But I've taken a class studying this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and it seems like it would be in the realism, kind of, sort of, with corruption. So, I mean, it seemed like a pretty accurate scene to me. So,
A scene that you would basically expect your local politician to be involved in. It would not be strange or out of this world. And I actually, it's indicative of a lot of things in this movie. I do have by the way, I do have a thing with Brando that I'll bring up when I'll punch up the scene. But yeah, this scene is basically the senator gets kind of a rub from Michael in terms of when it's outside and into the public, it's very like a charity thing and everything is on the up and up. And of course, Michael is trying to get his family away from crime. But on the down low, they can't really get rid of the crime because of all the corruption involving the senators that you have to grease, the police, the judges, everything. And of course, you have the rival families. But this is basically the start where the senator kind of wants more money, and Michael's trying to not pay that money
Well,
because
what is Michael notorious to say?
just say it.
My offer is nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to pay you the $20,000 for the gambling license fee that I'm supposed to pay you anyway.
Yeah.
And the senator goes on a little bit of a racist rant too.
Yeah, but after
Yeah.
Django Unchained, we're good. We're good.
And he has a complete and total turnaround, but at the time of Michael's trial, which we get to later,
we get to
how
watch.
it gets
But
everything
again,
set up.
like Hunter said, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's like it seems like I'm supposed to see that. I'm I don't know. Maybe it's an American thing, but for us to see that is like, oh, this is abnormal.
Yeah.
We wouldn't expect that, even though we kind of know it happens. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
The only thing I was going to add before that, Meth, the scenes that come up before that, just the attempted murder of Vito when he's a child, and how he gets sent to the United States to save his life,
yeah,
and how they give him the last name Corleone in error because the little boy can't speak English, but
Yeah.
he's from Corleone, Sicily, so
Corleone
they just
did-
gave him the last name Vito Corleone.
yeah, but you know what? It in a weird way, it happened in the U.S. Customs a lot.
Yeah.
When people came in up to a certain point, of course, but it also happened here in my country where a lot of people immigrate. Like there was the Holocaust, and then there was a British mandate in the country, and they allowed certain amount of people, but not anyway. By the time there was a new country formed, and lots of people started to immigrate here because all the Jewish people ran away, They came into customs and literally they said their name, and if the customs worker didn't like their like name, wherever it is, wherever it's from, they just gave him a new name. There's a famous playwright in my country that they literally, his last name, they made something close to Hebrew, but his first name was like Alfred, and the guy didn't like the name Alfred, so he gave him like Chaim. That's it. You're done. That you're Chaim now. So it, to me, it's like, oh, that's funny. But yeah, it happens a lot, or it happened
Yeah.
a lot. Right. So we see Pentangeli next. This is still the basically the wedding day, but it's a little bit later after Connie comes in with her boyfriend or her sugar daddy.
Which you know, Hunter, you know, like you, as you said, like you really prefer the Godfather Part 1. You understand why Connie is so completely distraught.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I watched Godfather 1 because my professor made us watch it for class, but I kind of forgot stuff from the first one. So going to the second one, it kind of refreshes on some parts.
Yeah. Like Connie is doing Connie things, but at the end of the day, and it shows up at the end of the movie, Michael knows what she's like, and she knows once the resources are dry, she's gonna crawl back into the family, and she's gonna go with him on whatever decision he's gonna do, because she knows him more than probably more than Fredo.
I just know that she caused. Sorry, I just know she caused a lot of problems in the first one, and then now I see her causing problems in the second one. It's like, yep.
Yeah, that's her character. That's well, I want to say, and I know it's stupid. She's kind of a thought that finds simps, and once the simps dry out, she just crawls back to /manager /agent wherever. That's how I
think
saw
it would almost be sort of
that week. I'm sorry.
I always think it would be sort of the reverse, though, because she's the one who finds these men who basically use her for the money and everything, and then once she's tapped out, they leave. Then she has to go crawling back to Michael for money.
I remember the first one now. Now I remember what happened. It was with the boyfriend, and then didn't they get him killed? Then you have the boyfriend killed.
Pretty much, yeah.
They had him taken care of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's the garage in the car scene in the Godfather Part 1.
Right.
Yeah. It was in the car.
I had it backwards. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything about movies.
Well, because he was beating the hell out of her.
Oh, in the first one, yeah. In the first one, yeah. But in this one, he was. You know what I'm saying? Because he was, kind of a beta.
No, in anything, the boyfriend. This one reminded me of the. Oh God, I just forgot his name. James Woods' character in Casino. That's what he reminded me of.
That's right. Yeah, Saf says they just want it for a cannoli. He just want her for a cannoli, man. So, Pentangeli.
But also Connie, though, Mother of the Year, like
Mother of the
Year, up at her nephew's first communion, be like, "Hey, can I get some money? By the way, I don't want to see my kids."
Yeah. So Pentangeli comes in. He being annoyed that people are muscling him out of his business, and of course he says that those are people that work with Hyman Roth. But of course, Michael's trying to sort out a legitimate casino, and the whole deal kind of revolves around Hyman Roth being his business partner of sorts,
set up in Cuba, that's all based off reality too, because they had everything set up in Cuba, and had the revolution not happened in Cuba, that would be a major tourist resort now. It'd be bigger than Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, it was, generally speaking, there were casinos back then. There were lots of stuff. Again, I'm saving a lot of information for a very specific scene.
Yeah.
Um, so we know about the deal. Then attempt on Michael's life, and my camera seems to be no.
There you
Okay.
go. You're good.
Attempt on Michael's life, and of course he gets annoyed. He has a very specific talk with his consigliere. This scene,
Mr. Tom
right?
Hagen, yeah.
Mr. Tom Hagen.
Yep.
He tells him, "You're the only person I trust." Basically, he says, "It's you and only you, and I want you to take care of the family, and I'm gonna go and do my business.
Yep.
I'll take care of the business. I'm gonna stay low. I'm gonna do the business."
And keep this scene particular in mind for the change in Michael by the end of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there it cuts to nostalgia. We're going back in time to this scene where, again, it's a very long series of scenes to give you a little bit of information on how the original Don Corleone came to America, how he conducted business, how he saw his community being ravaged by criminals, basically, and how he tried to be legit. He generally tried to be legit, but he saw it doesn't really work.
Well, because he ended up losing his job because one of Don Chichi. Well,
Yeah.
they're at that one little late night play with his friend, and he says
Yes.
accidentally
This
says his friend accidentally says a line against Don Chichi. Don Chichi gives him that look where it's like, you better just shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Then they go backstage, and the actor is getting extorted by Don Chichi.
Yeah.
Vito sees this and he starts to realize that, wow, so the new world is not really any different than the old world. I'm just in a
I
new
just
place.
left
Things are
the shit
exact
back
same.
there. Yeah, I just left the shit back there. Coming here, I'm growing up, and it's everywhere.
Yeah. And then he starts working at that grocer, and then he gets let go because one of John Chichi's family needs a job.
Yeah.
So Vito's trying to even go legitimate, and he can't catch a break.
Yeah, and of course, Don Chichi becomes sort of a surrogate to I forgot the name of the Don back in Sicily.
I
don't remember.
No, sorry, that is Don Chichi. This is Don Ciccio. They have the same
They have
name.
sort of the same name, right?
Yeah.
But he becomes the reminder, not only the reminder of what happened back in Sicily, but also the image of the Don who has the family, who has people killed, and he becomes the focus of the hatred and what to do with this. We have to solve this problem, blah blah blah. And it comes in a little bit later with Clemenza and the other friend.
Yep.
Yeah. They even have a conversation. I want to put it. Wait. No. There we go. Oh, I do have the subtitles. Weird.
Yeah.
When I watched it the first time, it didn't have the subtitles. Maybe I'd have two different files. I don't know. Whatever. It's a good thing I do good DVD rips.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
They do have this little conversation where they basically find that they have something in common, and the something in common is their hatred towards that guy and what to do with him. But they don't come up with the idea of killing him at that specific point. All right, cool.
And that's after Vito does that break-in.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes, that's after it does that break-in. Um, we move back to Michael, and Michael goes to Hyman Roth. Now, I think this is a very, very important scene because there's a certain element that happens, and I've read it or not read it, it's an audiobook, but I've read it in some book about I think it was the Gambini family. The whole point is when you go to see the dawn for the Gambini family, nobody but the wife opens the door. And when she opens the door to you, she immediately calms you down. She immediately becomes the Italian mama or whatever. This doesn't happen here, but the most important thing is the woman answers the woman of the house answers the door. It doesn't matter if it's full of gangsters, doesn't matter what it is. A woman answers the door to you, accepts you in, offers you refreshments, and then you go in to see the dawn. Because most of the times people were coming to the dawn and they had a problem that they need him to solve, right?
Mhm.
They don't want him to they don't want they didn't want people to come to the dawn at like a 6. They wanted him to be at a 2 so they won't be so hot-headed and they can speak to him with reverence and not be like I want you to fucking kill that guy. He like messed with my fucking business. But in this instance, he comes in, the wife treats him, and she slowly enters him into Hyman Roth. Now, Hyman Roth is sort of the I think we talked about this, So My Feelings, this week or last week about Hyman Roth being a representative of a guy called Meyer Lansky, a very well-known
yeah.
Jewish gangster.
Yep.
Ties with Bugsy Siegel and ties with the Gambini family as well. And a few others, of course. And he had a lot of dealings in casinos in Havana with the mafia.
Yep.
So it's literally taking the Meyer Lansky kind of ideal and putting it in Hyman Roth as a character. They also have probably the same dealings as well.
And this is actually a very, very important scene too, Matt, because it's showing the actual the capability of Michael.
Yeah, he knows how to read people. He knows if a person who's talking to him is lying or not. That's something that comes in because the next conversation he has, I think, is with Tom or with somebody else. He immediately says, Hyman Roth is definitely betraying me.
No, he actually has the conversation with Frank Pantangeli, but he's saying that he tells Hyman Roth that Frank Pantangeli tried to have him killed.
Yes.
He tells Frank Pantangeli that Hyman Roth tried to have him killed.
Yes.
So they're playing off each other. So whoever it is that's trying to have him killed is either thinking that they're safe, which they shouldn't be because Michael knows better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think he already knew it's Hyman Roth at that point.
Yeah.
He has a pretty good idea it's Hyman Roth.
Because Fredo. Oh, Fredo.
Spoilers! You're spoiling the whole fucking movie. You're supposed to see the movie. Never mind. Okay. That's a little conversation I had with myself tonight, so it is what it is. All right. Cool. We are gonna stop here because it's 1 hour into the movie. Did you know?
Yeah, I know. Again, it's a long one, and Hunter, we're going to have a lot to talk about where you can actually have some more input. We're just trying to get to the
by
point.
The way, Hunter, just jump in if you have anything to say about any scene. Go ahead.
We get later down the road.
Okay, no worries. All right, we're going to do our first segment of the night, and it is called Missing Marquee. What is Missing Marquee? Missing Marquee is very, very simple. We put up 10 posters up that have their text written off. And as we have a guest tonight, our guest is going to try and guess which movies are they. So without further ado,
I'll try to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, wish me luck.
all right. By the way,
I don't know why.
chat, you are more than welcome to jump in and be first.
Yeah, chat, you can definitely be first.
Do you not know, Hunter?
No, it just looks like Mysterio.
It's Alexander.
It's not Mysterio, no. It's Alexander. It's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
Alexander the Great film. It wasn't
By
good.
the way, you're gonna my feelings. You're gonna know a lot of these, so you're gonna have to shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm trying to be quiet.
I told you.
I don't think I know this one either.
Interesting. I'll let the chat here a little catch up. It's on YouTube. It's a
This
delay
is
of-
my boomstick.
This is my boomstick.
Wait a minute, is that something with Rambo?
No,
No,
that's
that's not
not.
Rambo.
It's definitely
Rambo
not
doesn't-
Ram. By the way, the guy who's like big buff guy in
He's not a
the
big buff
actual
guy.
movie itself is not really buffed at all. He's like a
Oh,
regular.
really?
He's like a
It's
regular
Army of the
Joe.
Dead.
It's Army of the
Should have
Dead.
known that.
It's pretty funny movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Oh God, fuck you, fuck you, Beth.
I don't really watch these kind of movies, so I can't answer this.
You don't
one.
want anime at all. By the way, this
No.
is the first anime I watched.
Yeah, I finally got
it's
him
a
to watch an anime.
series.
It's Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, it's an animated series, but this is from the movie. This is the Cowboy Bebop movie. All right, moving on. I didn't ask you before, Hunter. Can you tell me your age?
22.
Okay.
I don't know
Not
this one either.
I'm not judging. Do you want me to punch in? Like, you know the actor, right?
Not really. I think I
You
know the
don't
guy
know who
on the right, but I
you
forget
don't-
his name.
What, this guy?
No, on the right.
On the right? This guy?
Yeah. I feel like I've seen him before.
That's Danny Glover. This one is Mel Gibson. The Chinese dude is Jet Li.
Is it Lee? That's Rene Russo.
That's Rene Rousseau.
And that's
at the
Chris
very
Rock.
far end, it's Chris Rock. Believe it or not. And he was criticized a lot for taking the role in this movie.
And I believe
Really?
Biffer already got it.
Yep, Biffer got it. This is there we go. Lethal
The
Weapon
Weapon
4, not Lethal Weapon 3.
Because that's the only one that didn't have Pesci in it, right?
This one did have Pesci in it.
Oh, it did have Pesci. Okay.
Yes, it did.
A lot of them
You-
didn't. I can't remember which one.
Oh, did I
Anyway.
fuck this up? Whoa, hold. Wait.
Zoom all the way out. There it is.
There.
Oh gosh.
This one.
That actor
This
in the
one,
far
a lot
back
of people
is a
would
good
know.
actor.
Don't worry about it. This
Okay.
one's bad.
There
I
we
feel
go.
like I'm
Got it,
doing really
though.
bad at this.
Don't feel bad. Saf knew before
Yep.
anybody. This is a first.
This
This is a first. This is Machete. Or Machete.
no, this isn't Machete Kills. This is just Machete.
No, this is Machete. This is the first one. Punching in
Machete
is not
Kills
good.
had Mel Gibson actually as the villain.
It
Right.
is Matrix. It looked like Matrix.
This is not
Kinda
Matrix. No. Good guess though. Good
Yo,
guess.
can you punch in though?
Yes. Although it fucks me up to no end.
Some puzzle looking movie.
It's very puzzling.
How about
No,
Source
it's
Code?
not,
Think
it's
about
not Source Code.
Oh.
No. Good guess. Good guess. Source Code is with Bruce Willis. This is definitely not Bruce Willis, hence the hair. There we go. Biffer strikes again. This is
Paycheck.
Paycheck with
That
Ben
one I did
Affleck.
not know. I don't
With
think I've
Ben
ever seen that
Affleck.
one.
it. I haven't seen. It was like Alcatraz.
It looks like Alcatraz, but it's not.
One of Scorsese's worst films.
Believe it or not, another one with DiCaprio.
Yes. It's Shutter Island. Just move on.
It's Shutter
Is that?
Island.
I would never. I haven't heard of half of these movies.
This one you will never ever get, Hunter. If you do, you're a champ.
I'm not a champ.
Oh shit! Can you punch in?
There's nothing to punch into.
No, I'm just trying to recognize the face.
Oh, Biffer, I knew you knew that because
Sunset Boulevard?
I've
Yeah.
seen your filmography thing.
Yeah.
It is very glorious, by the way. This is Sunset Boulevard. It's this movie is almost famous for the main character, who's Betty Davis, saying, my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Still, yeah. Crazy shut-in. Yeah.
Some
This
kind
one
of
is an old
military
one.
movie.
This one is 1959.
I probably haven't seen it. I don't even know what it is.
I have seen it. I have seen it. When I was about 17, I've seen it during cinema class. Bridge over the River Kwai. Saf.
Wow.
Saf did not watch this movie. I tell you right now. It is Bridge over the River Kwai.
Oh man, the Wild West looking movie.
It's a Wild West looking movie. Shot in 1990 or 1991. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Unforgiven.
It is The Unforgiven. Yeah, baby. All right, cool.
Good Metallica song. Yeah, okay.
I
Good
didn't get
Metallica.
one movie.
Hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel
Yeah,
bad.
it's a scatter shot, Hunter.
Look, was it last week or the week before that? It was extremely difficult. Like
It was 2 weeks ago where it was
2
just
weeks
like,
ago where my feelings was
I got like 3 out of 10,
stomped.
and it was
He
just
was
like
stomped, and
what?
he's like, "Oh, I know this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that?" All right, cool. So we go to Havana, my favorite, and we meet with the families, and we meet with Hyman Roth. This is after Michael kind of says, "This is gonna. I don't trust Hyman Roth." Blah blah blah, and they go to Havana, and they have this little meeting where everybody's chummy with everybody. They have a little bit of a conversation there on the balcony, then inside the house. Then they have the little private conversation on Michael's condo and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
then also during this scene, Roth tells everyone that, by the way, once I'm gone, everything's going to Michael.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But something,
which is really, really important.
Yeah. But something is a little bit off.
Mhm.
Something's rotten in the Kingdom of Denmark. And
also, we did skip over real fast, Meth, the attempted assassination of Frank Pantangeli.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's here. I'm not sure we skipped it, but yeah, Frank Pantangeli went to like a business meeting to smooth over what he had, like problems with the fellow gangster group or the other family, and there was a lot of issues with it. He was supposed to be killed, then a cop showed up, then everybody got shot.
The hitman even said Michael Corleone says hello.
Yeah.
When he tries to strangle him, which
yeah. But there's like I'm putting up on the screen. Of course, again, we're a little bit short on time as well because I got a little bit long in the rant. I'm sorry, but this scene is like, there's a nurse there, and Hyman Roth always presents himself like he's about to die, and Michael at a certain point kind of calls him out on it, not to his face. He tells either his consigliere, or he tells Fredo, or he tells somebody that Hyman Roth is about to die, like for about 27 years already.
Well, he's been dying from
Yeah.
the same heart attack for the last 20 years.
Yeah, something like that. And it was like, yeah, and the fact that he tells everybody that everything goes to Michael is fishy to Michael. That kind of raises his red flags.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, also, what's really important in that scene with him and Hyman is during that conversation he says two lines, one of which is by far one of the most quotable lines in the movie that people always remember, because he grabs he puts his hands on Michael's knees and says, "Michael, we're bigger than U.S. Steel."
Yeah.
Tell him how the government wants to work with them. And then he asks Roth about the attempted hit on Pantangeli.
Yeah.
And Roth goes through that whole thing we're going to see. He said, I had a friend once. His name was Mo Green, which goes back to Hunter. Remember
Yeah.
The Godfather Part 1? The Las Vegas guy who got shot on the massage table? That was Mo Green. He said, well, I didn't ask who did it. Hyman knew all along it was Vito who ordered the hit.
Yeah.
Well, Vito through Michael ordered the hit.
All right.
But he said, like, I knew who did it. I didn't ask because that's business. That's the business that we're in. So I knew better not to ask who did it or why they did it.
Now, I've skipped over the ballroom scene, but I'm going to just say a little bit. Michael goes to Fredo in the ballroom scene, and there's an introduction.
No,
there's an introduction. Is it before or after this?
The ballroom scene is during New Year's Eve. That's after this.
That's after this.
That's when they
this one. I wanted this one. So they meet the senator that they met at the wedding, or the birthday party.
Communion. And this is after Tom Hagen ends up visiting the senator when he has the dead hooker.
Yes. There's that.
So the senator's already in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you get to this scene, there's an introduction between Fredo and Johnny Ola, right?
Yeah.
And they you see on Fredo's face that he knows Johnny Ola, because he does get a phone call. There is a scene where he gets a phone call. I'm not sure it's the extended cut or was it in or out, because
it's in the film. It's in the film. It's setting up already from the get-go that Fredo was the one who
was the one, right? Okay.
So
he gets the phone call from Johnny Ola, and then they do an introduction because he's not supposed to know who he is because he's Hyman Roth's guy. And they meet and they pretend to not know each other. And the scene after that is something that I wanted to concentrate because I'm a degenerate motherfucker. Is this now?
Yeah,
I know a guy called Joey Diaz. I follow Joey Diaz.
Joey Coco Diaz, yeah.
Joey Coco Diaz. Now,
Hunter, if you don't know him, he's an actor and he's a hilarious comedian. You love his stuff.
Hilarious comedian. He is dirty as fuck.
Yeah.
He is let's just say he is stoned to the gills. And he's fucking amazing. If you don't know Joey Coco Diaz, you should definitely check it out. Anyway, one of the times he was at Joe Rogan's podcast, he was there with a writer that wrote a book called Havana Nocturne, which was all about Havana and the mob during the 50s when the government kind of went to the revolution and everything. And one of the chapters was this guy above me is called Superman. For one particular reason, he has got the most massive member a man can have. And this show that they're depicting here was a real show that was happening. They literally brought some sort of peasant girl from whatever mountains outside of Havana, whatever. And all they did is a show basically for the Americans, because at the time, not only the mob were frequent visitors, but a lot of American senators and congressmen went down there because in Havana, it's like modern day Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That was Havana in the 1950s, and there were
I would say
plenty of
that version
stories.
of Havana though is more akin to like the '70s Vegas, because
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Vegas is everywhere.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah, yeah. But this was a very, very famous, like this actually happened. They just took it and ripped it, but it was a story that was known that like senators came down there again to get stuff done. And there's another connection: Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor. The whole story, I know Hunter probably doesn't know about it, but there's a story about Marlon Brando having
Yeah,
sex with Richard Pryor, and it happened during this particular show, the show with Superman, or at least after that show. Allegedly. Allegedly.
allegedly.
But it's a lot of these stories came out, and it all around revolves around Havana, and specifically the show with Superman. And it is fucking amazing. Now, I know it has nothing to do with the Godfather Part 2, but at
Oh, it's a part of history and it's in
yeah,
it. So
it is a part of history. This is where after the ballroom is like, oh, Fredo doesn't know Johnny Ola, but when they're watching the show, like
they said,
I
well,
think,
Hyman wasn't one who would actually want to go see a show like this. No, Johnny Ola told me about this show.
yeah,
We should go see it. Which Fredo is basically like, hey, I'm an idiot. I'm telling you that I'm betraying you, Michael, because I know
yeah,
Johnny Ola.
right. Hunter, do you want to say something?
Not just that scene was I was really confused about it when I was looking at because they were saying Superman. I'm like, what? It
Yeah,
is like okay. If they're not showing me the stage half the time, we're just looking at Michael looking around. He's sitting there thinking, going, wait a minute, something's not right here. Fredo.
yeah.
In
It's
fact, Hunter,
exactly
no,
it's
you're right though.
exactly
The
that.
only way that you would know what was actually going on is if you listen to the senators in the background. One of them goes like, "Yeah, I want to see him break a brick with it."
Yeah, I heard that. I was like,
It's let's just say the the Superman dude, he not only did shows with women or multiple women, he also did bestiality shows. This guy
ooh.
was
So, like donkey
this guy
shows.
was
Yeah,
as used as the women he used. It was
it's not good.
it was debaucherous. Let's just say that. I'm not even sure that's a word, but it's full on debauchery. So cut to the night of the revolution. I'm just showing this ballroom scene where kind of Michael grabs Fredo and is like, he grabs him and he says, "You broke my heart, Fredo. You
I know it
broke
was you,
my
Fredo.
heart."
You broke my heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And things already are in motion because Michael goes around Havana with this weird ass old Sicilian dude who he's up to to fuck
You
somebody
know
up, right?
who he reminded me of?
Mm,
The Iceman.
yeah.
Who?
The Iceman, Ted. Is it Ted
Yeah, Ted.
Krasinski?
Some I can't remember his. No, Ted Kaczynski was the
No,
Unabomber.
Ted Kaczynski's the Unabomber. No, 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 no.
It was
Uh,
Ted something, but no, he was actually
I'll
a
punch it up.
mafia, a
Yeah.
hitman hunter. He apparently had something like he killed over like 300 people in his time
Oh
as a
wow.
mob hitman. Um, but he was just a complete and total fucking sociopath. No emotion whatsoever. Did not even care. At one point in time, he got bored, so he just decided to figure out new ways to kill people. He
Oh,
had it
geez,
like he did a whole like prison house interviews and everything. He said he went out to buy a crossbow just because again he was bored and he wanted to find a new way to kill someone.
His name is Richard Kuklinski. Richard
Kuklinski, yeah.
Kuklinski. There's a
But he did go by
documentary
Ted at one
called
point
The
in time.
Iceman.
Yeah. Iceman, yeah.
It is haunting. The dude literally killed a guy, chopped him up into pieces, and stored him at a grocery shop or like a supermarket in his neighborhood.
Is that
It's
why they
like
call him the
in the
Iceman?
deep freezer of some grocery shop.
Yeah. Well, they also call him the Iceman too because a lot of the corpses they found, he would always freeze them.
Yeah, he would also
if he could,
he
if he
always
could
freeze
actually get the
them.
bodies, so they would always be, just all the
Yeah.
blood would be frozen.
Yeah,
He's like, oh yeah, it's the Iceman.
Yeah, he froze them and then waited a few months and then he dumped them. And it doesn't really matter where he dumped them because they were frozen, the time of death wasn't really clear. Is it 5 days or 6 months? It was fucking insane. So revolution happens.
Interesting.
Michael faces Fredo. He tells him he broke his heart. And then actually the revolution starts, and then everybody scatters. And Michael still wants Fredo to come with him, but Fredo knows if he comes with Michael, he's
dead.
Dead. Well, he thinks he's gonna die.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, Michael would have forgiven him because of the family. I'm not sure how much he'll let him like roam around and have his own business, but that's just my take.
Possibly. I really don't think so, especially given what happens near the end and how that's played.
Yeah,
off.
I was waiting. I didn't want to go say that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to it, but
Yeah, I mean, that's my take. You can say, well, no, he's gonna fucking destroy him, but yeah. And now, after the revolution happens, it literally gives you a pause from the main story, just to give you a little bit of a backstory on Vito.
Just real quick, Beth. Johnny Ola does get killed by basically the Sicilian Iceman.
I skipped over that. The assassin went for Roth as well.
Yeah, he attempts to kill him, but
because of the revolution. Yeah, because of the revolution, he gets interrupted, and he
so Hyman Roth is still alive.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. So we literally have a breather and going back into nostalgia, going to a Vito story. By the way, at the time, it was two big powerhouses in one movie, which is De Niro and Pachino, both on the rise. Basically, it is not the today's De Niro and Pachino, but they were on the rise. And they were in the same movie together, but they didn't have a scene together. We had to wait until I think it's Heat. Is it?
Yeah,
Heat?
they weren't together. Actually acting together until Heat. Heat was the first film that they actually were in the same film acting together.
Yeah. So
that's a great film too, Hunter. If you haven't seen Heat.
Yeah, I'm looking into it.
God, it's a good fucking movie. Did you play GTA 5, Hunter?
Kind of, sort of. I didn't really want to do the campaign, so I went on the GTA mods and downloaded the save file.
Okay. I was just gonna say there's one heist in there that is the heist from Heat, essentially. They almost pretty much ripped the whole thing.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't play the game. I just saw the playthrough. It's long. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. So we get to Vito and we see the whole story of how they are planning to take over the neighborhood, basically. And they start with the oil company and it moves on from there. And of course, the big Don Ciccio or whatever it's called, he comes to
Yeah, I got the name wrong. Oh. I got it correct later in my notes later on. Okay. It's Don Fanucci.
Vanucci. Vanucci. Man.
The one in New York is Don Cicci. The one back in Sicily was Don Fanucci. I'm just
gonna put him. The guy in I think
This
if we're
ostentatious motherfucker.
I'm talking about in terms of like film, the whole scene. We talked about this. The colors are pretty fucking bad. So it's grays and it's sort of a reddish tone, but it's not looking good. The fact that Coppola went with a guy who has a white suit, he is very he goes around and there's a scene where he walks around in the market and Vito kind of dogtails him,
Yeah.
right? He is very much prominent, even though he is in the middle of all the like hustle and bustle and everything. But you can tell, oh, there he is. He's right there. And that's like a cinematic or a filmatic kind of decision or a director's decision to put him in that particular suit, so he'll definitely pop from the screen and you'll know where he is, so you'll be able to follow him through all that little crowd. And also in the dark danky corridor where he actually kills him.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can punch it in. Yeah, we are there. There we go. It's basically this part.
Yeah.
Basically this part.
And he does
So-
the right thing, though. I mean,
Ma-
the way that it's set up, Michael almost does a similar kind of intelligent setup with how he sets the gun up in the bathroom in the Godfather Part 1, Hunter. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think so.
Where he has one of the dons and the police captain in the restaurant. And he says, "Excuse me, I need to go use the
Yeah.
restroom." Yeah.
Yes, I remember now. Then he put the gun up with, above the toilet. I think. Oh no, was it in the toilet?
It's behind the toilet. In one, it's behind the toilet, but in this one is
No, in this one he has it set up so he unscrews the light bulb just enough so it's dim enough so someone would have to change it, so then it would give Vito the warning that someone is there. Because when the light actually turned back on, he'd be like, okay, someone's there, and they could see like, oh, it's Don Chichi, so now it's time to go.
Yeah. And he gets killed, and he basically becomes
The new Don.
what he becomes what
he
was
hated.
fearing and he hated. But it's a necessity because that's how Italians in the start of the century worked, I guess.
It was like right after the scene.
By the
he
way,
goes on
I
top
like
of the
this
roof.
part.
It just starts an intermission.
It's in the movie.
Go ahead, Hunter.
I said, I like how right after the scene he goes up on the roof and takes the gun apart and puts him down the chimney. And the first thing I was thinking, going, what about fingerprints? But then you got to realize I don't think they had that back then. So it's kind of like, oh.
Well, yeah, and also like he's an Italian immigrant who probably never had his fingerprint taken before, because back then they just basically they took your name and that was it. They didn't fingerprint you or anything when you were coming in to customs. So yeah.
I want to get to that part because basically this. If I go too far, it's just I lose it. He puts it down the chimneys. The thing is, those chimneys go down to not a fireplace. It goes down to a stove. So you wouldn't even try and look for stuff in there because all you do is open up and just stuff more wood or coal in there for heat. And people won't roam around in the ashes to look for it. And by the time they do, it won't be detected. It will just go away with the trash, with the ash.
And they didn't have, ballistics testing back then, Hunter. So
yeah,
and
it was a lot different.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different. Let me see. And it's basically it basically is done. It gives you like the origin story of Vito, and there's not much to go on.
There's a little story there with that woman and the landlord how the landlord's trying to basically extort her for more money, and
Oh
then
yes.
he tries to talk to the landlord, and the landlord brushes him off as some young punk kid.
Yeah.
And then when he realizes who he is, the landlord comes back to him in terror. Like he
Yeah.
gives him money. It's like, hey, so the rent will go back to being the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
Vito just kind of looks at him and he goes, hey, you know what? I'll even reduce our rent.
And he's
Okay.
still
And
sitting there, just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting. Like,
yeah, it just sits there and wait. All right, cool. We are getting there. We are at the 2 hour mark.
we're getting there.
of
The
the
last
movie.
hour really goes by
Yeah, the
real
last
quick.
hour kind of gets drawn out real fine until we actually get to the crescendo of everything.
Mhm.
Uh this is like a series of scenes where we get the interrogation. First, we get the one of the capos, I think, right? I don't remember who was the first guy coming in.
Yeah, it's one of the capos who's saying like, yeah, I was working with the family and I was told by Michael Corleone to kill these people.
And then they bring in Michael with Tom Hagen and they answer a bunch of questions and they think they have the senator in their pocket and all he does is just get up and leave.
Well,
Because
he first retracts everything that he said in private to
oh
Michael.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
how the Italian American people are some of the most honest and hardworking people, American citizens. They're the most patriotic. Do not let a couple of bad apples ruin the whole bunch. And it's like, that's not what you really think.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you really think. And then he gets up and leaves because he knows that if he stays there, he's going to get grilled by Michael and used as a puppet. Not only that, he has got some dirt on him. So there's
Yep.
no way he's going to sit there and take it. And it kind of hurts Michael, to be fair, because if he was there, he's some sort of
A little
some
bit of
sort of
leverage.
leverage he can
Yeah.
use to avoid some of the questions. So he gets grilled hard. Michael does. And then we have the whole Pantangeli kind of thing where they know Pantangeli is gonna tell on Michael because he already told the feds, and they know he thinks that Michael sent people to
Kill
assassinate
him.
him. So they bring in their own trump card, and that's Pantangeli's brother from Sicily. And all they
It's
do,
like, what a cold-blooded thing to do.
yeah,
Like they just the threat was implicit. That was the most terrifying thing about it. Because when before before he gets to the courtroom and he sees his brother, he's fully ready to testify to everything that he's done, everything he's done for Michael, all the murders he's committed, everything that he's set up. But then he sees his brother and he's like, "Oh shit! If I say a word, my brother's dead."
yeah, exactly. And there's a little scene between Michael and Fredo where Fredo comes to Michael and literally whines, "How come I was passed? How come my little don't you know how I feel as I'm the older brother and you're the younger brother and you're in charge and I'm not in charge?" And he doesn't realize that he does not have the mental capacity and the strength of character to actually be the head of the family. And if he was the head of the family, that family would have been
Falling apart.
wiped the fuck out.
Yep.
Hmm.
Wiped the fuck out. So we get to the courtroom and there's a mass. By the way, Harry Dean Stanton, Harry
Yep.
Dean Stanton, who died recently. And I was like, holy shit, he's in this movie? He says nothing. He says absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
Is this a major, like, I know Hunter doesn't know him. That's like a major character actor. But yeah, never mind. That's just me. So there's like a full back and forth, and the senators are being really annoyed with the whole situation.
Well,
Like
yeah, because
they had Michael by the fucking balls.
yeah, they thought they had him dead to rights, but then Patanzi's going like, "Nah, I never said anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
worked with his father in the olive oil business. That was many years ago, though. I don't know nothing about that."
Yeah, I don't know nothing. I don't act with nothing. I don't know shit. And that's it. And they know he's gone.
Yeah.
And then of course,
Are we gonna talk about the scene with Kay? Oh God,
Yeah.
this
yeah.
scene is
Go
hard to
ahead. You
watch.
guys can take it away.
Hunter, your impressions.
Well, Michael, this is really his turning point. I believe in this entire movie, he really turned at this moment
Mhm.
because when he found out that his wife had an abortion instead of uh, having a miscarriage, he went full on outrage. He hit his wife, and he's like, "I'll do everything in my power to make sure you don't take the kids away from me." As in, he's threatening her like, "Anything, I'll do anything to you, but the kids are staying with me. You're
Yeah.
not taking them." And that was, I mean, that's just a really big turning point for Michael for later on down the movie. I mean, he really changed at this moment.
It seems like he was cool, calm, and collective up until this point. And when she springs this surprise on him, he loses it. He
Mhm.
absolutely loses. He has the Al Pacino crazy eyes at some point. I don't know if you noticed where he goes into like, oh, it's
Yeah,
like devil's advocate type
that's exactly what I was gonna
rant,
refer to.
right? Have you seen
I'm a
Devil's Advocate?
man.
A- Hunter, have you seen Devil's Advocate?
No.
It, before Heat, you should watch Devil's Advocate. It
Advocate,
is Pacino being
the
Pacino.
most
Whatever you
Pacino
think about
ever.
Pacino, that's his character in Devil's Advocate. He plays the devil, but Al Pacino style.
Well,
It's
in a way, that's kind of a big
amazing.
that's a big spoiler, but the title of the movie gives it away.
It,
Keanu Reeves is also in it. Charlize Theron's in it.
it's
There are a lot of
it's not
very
really a
famous actors in
spoiler,
it.
but what he does with that role is absolutely insane.
It's
It's
it's bonkers.
and this scene where he goes nuts on Kay and he like talks to her like she's absolutely nothing, which technically speaking she is. Uh and goes ballistic and has those fucking crazy Al Pacino eyes. That's it. That's him being absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Because you also
Yeah.
have to kind of wonder too, if you remember the Godfather Part One, Hunter, the woman that he got married to in Sicily. Do you think she would have done anything like that?
Yeah,
I think
probably
eventually down the
not.
line.
Probably not. Uh
No, but Hunter, I think you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. I think this was the very big turning point for Michael because he already had the one giant betrayal from Fredo. Now the second hugest betrayal from his own wife. That just made him snap.
Yeah.
yeah, that simply snaps him. And now it literally cuts to the last scene of Vito, right? Where along with Mike at this point, I don't know if you notice it or not, but once he hit that crazy point, that's where everybody gets fucking dead in Michael's world. In Vito's world, after he took over everything, after everything settled down, and now he's the Don, now it's payback time for his mom. And he goes to Don Chichi. He's pretending something. And when he reveals himself, he also stabs him in the belly and like pulls it. So you'll definitely won't survive.
Like that's a painful way to die.
That is a very painful way to
Mhm.
die. But he outright tells him to his face, I'm fucking that guy from Corleone, and you killed my mother. Prepare to die.
No.
Yeah. I think the guy realized it too. When he heard the name, you see his face kind of made a little expression.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the realization. It's the
Mhm.
realization that redemption and revenge is coming.
Yeah.
Sicilian style.
Then also in that scene too, before. Well, sorry, no, never mind. It's right after this. It is right after this.
What?
That I forgot. I thought the conversation with Hagen was before this, but it's after this. Never mind. I had to look at my notes again.
But the scene after
no, go
this
ahead.
is after Michael's mom dies
Yes.
from old age. I think she's the only one. The family gets together.
Well,
Fredo.
no, Don Vito just not Don Vito, Vito Corleone, Don Corleone. Don Vito was a character in Viva La Bam. That's a whole other thing.
Anyway.
No, but Don Corleone actually just died of a heart attack.
No, I mean in this movie.
Oh, I thought you meant just overall.
No.
Span of
She's from
characters.
in this movie. She's the only one that dies out of old age. Everybody else gets whacked,
Well,
including Hyman Roth.
Yeah, but no, but Frank Fantangeli doesn't get whacked. He kills himself. There's a difference.
Still not old age.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But speaking of that, we did sort of skip that scene though with Frank Fantangeli when he's talking to Tom Hagen.
Doesn't really matter. But
No,
Tom Hagen does tell him that Michael knows that, like Michael didn't send anybody to kill him, and it would be best if somebody would do that thing you're supposed to do.
Well, because he was talking about
to give amends, and he kind of warns him that if he doesn't do it, his brother is dead.
Well, no, but they were talking about Roman history, which this is actually a very true thing. That this actually did happen in Roman history. Senators who were disgraced senators could kill themselves and their families would be taken care of. That is a real thing that happened.
Also, seppuku, maybe?
No, because that was about honor.
Death.
That was about honor. Your family was still be brutally
yeah.
murdered in Japanese culture.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of it is technically it is based on an honor, family honor.
Yeah.
Breaking is at the end of the day about honor, not really something that is tangible. But but in the mafia, your family is going to get taken care of. Not taken care of, taken care of.
Yeah, paid off. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, more too in that way in like La Cosa Nostra, if that way of taking yourself out is in a way of you almost being a Christ-like figure of you are taking all of your family sins with you.
Yes.
And you're absolving them of everything.
It's cleansing your family by doing the honorable thing of getting rid of yourself.
Yeah.
So we get Fredo being allowed to see his mom, but Michael is not there. He's like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. You're dead to me, which, other than being actually dead, something. And of course, Connie comes back crawling and stands, like we said at the start, she stands by Michael and by his decisions towards Fredo and the whole family. Stands with him when he decided what he decided with Kay, and she becomes sort of the surrogate mom for his children because Kay has been banished. Physically and everythingly.
Well, and there too, Connie was the one who was able to convince him to forgive.
Yeah, forgive Fredo.
Because he tells one of his capos that is like, listen, I don't want anything to happen to Fredo until my mom is dead.
Yeah.
Before she dies.
Yeah.
Now that she's dead,
it's open season. It's really open season. Now, Fredo.
And they did have a really heartbreaking scene, though, with the children.
Yeah. It's not this scene. It's not this scene. This scene is where they have that little talk, and this is Michael's son. He's telling, well, I want to learn how to fish. And Fredo's like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to fish. We'll go out sometime. And when they're going out sometime, Connie tells Vito, no, you're not going out today. Fredo's going out fishing by himself, and
Well, no,
that's
they're
where
getting ready to fish, but then Connie gets Anthony because he's like, no, we need Anthony. Your father says you have to go to Reno with him right now, so they have to
yeah.
go out to Reno, and they go out into the boat alone. Which I don't know. Are you a fan of South Park at all, Hunter?
I've seen some of it, like the COVID one, but that's about it.
I was gonna say, South Park makes reference to this so many times where Cartman tries to betray people by giving them a loan on a boat. He takes them
Yeah,
out on a
yeah,
boat and he tries to hit them in the head with a wiffle ball bat.
yeah. But
He's literally whacking them.
The whole issue here is this is the touching moment where Fredo realizes he's not coming back, but he's trying to hold on to Anthony, trying to keep him close, and don't worry, I'll catch a fish for you. It's good. Don't worry about it. You go on ahead and go with your dad, and we'll talk. Yeah.
Well,
With
but
the fishes.
before that, at the funeral, no, I meant the heartbreaking scene between Kay and Anthony, where Kay, as a mother, is just asking Anthony, just kiss your mother, just kiss me goodbye, and even the little boy is like, no, you betrayed the family.
Yeah.
You're nothing to me.
Yeah.
And she won't. The Anthony won't even go toward her. Michael walks in and sees Kay on the outside of the door. Just walks in and shuts the door in her face. And that's the last time you see Kay.
Yep, that's it. She lost everything.
Like,
she definitely
wow.
lost everything. All right.
Damn.
Cool. Right. We are going to stop because there's basically 2 scenes in this before this ends. So we're going to have a little moment, and we're going to jump into our favorite game. It's called Screen Fighter.
Round 1. Fight.
What is Screen Fighter, you say? We take 2 movies, we pit them together, and we decide which one is the best one. If we don't have any discernible kind of difference between those two, either they're very bad or they're very good, we lean on our criteria, which means Friday evening, Saturday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, or with your significant other. We've got 2 choices. Which one will we pop in and watch? All right, let me just set this up. And we chat participation is allowed and encouraged. But since we're 3 here, there's always a deciding voice. Hunter, if you haven't seen this movie, it's okay. Which one is the best one? The Breakfast Club or Rain Man? Hunter, have you seen any of those?
No, but by the pictures, I'm going to say Rain Man.
Interesting. Okay.
Just by the picture.
Okay. We've got Biffer saying The Breakfast Club. Oh, my feelings. What say you, sir?
Oh, boy. Now, the best 80s movie or
the best high school movie ever.
Best high school movie ever.
Which is The Breakfast Club.
I have to go with Rain Man. I really love that movie, even though I love The Breakfast Club. I really love The Breakfast Club. By the way, Hunter, you've seen The Hangover, right?
Yes.
You know that scene where Zach Galifianakis' character is seeing all the numbers in his head at the casino?
That kind of comes from the Rain Man, just without the numbers.
Comes from Rain Man. It's like a play on Rain Man. Yeah.
Yes. I also picked the Rain Man. Memento or The Ring? I'm going to start. I don't like any of these movies. It's going to be The Ring. Even though the only good thing about Memento is Joey Pants.
Joey Pants is so goddamn good in that movie.
Go, decide. Biffer says Memento.
Have you seen either of these?
I think I've
Saf
seen Memento
says,
at one point.
Saf says The Ring sucks.
I
The
have to
Ring
say
is the American version of The Ring, by the way.
I would watch Ringu. Ringu is the Japanese one. The Japanese version is actually very good. I have to go with Memento. I love that fucking movie.
Memento for me, because I think I've seen it before, and I don't think I've seen The Ring.
All right, cool. Spider-Man or The Running Man? Which man will we pick?
I'll say Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man movies, and I don't think I've seen Running Man, so.
I actually think, no joke, Hunter, you would actually love The Running Man. It's campy, but it is fun as hell. It's
Really?
like it's
The
like
Running Man is
it's like
basically
an arcade game brought to the screens, essentially.
it's sort of Hunger Games, but not really. It's sort of Hunger Games, but the people who hunt you are like American Gladiator professionals.
Like
Sort
they
of
have
that
like a
thing.
gimmick names, and they that's how they kill you. It's super dumb, but man, it's a fun fucking movie.
If you want to like have a popcorn and turn off your thinking cap, Running Man is excellent. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man, to be honest, not Running Man. Just because it's not one of my favorites in terms of like action movie and stuff. I do appreciate it, but I do like me some Spider-Man.
So we have a 2-2 vote. I'm the split
A
here.
2-2 vote. Oof.
I'm gonna be like a 90s dance move.
90s dance move.
The Running Man.
Interesting. We've got Running Man. Okay, it's gonna be Running Man. Hey, dude, I bowed down to the chat.
Yep.
Garden State, overrated movie, or Zodiac, about the Zodiac killer.
One of David Fincher's, I think, his worst film.
Okay.
Still a good movie, but it's nowhere near like Fight Club or even The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Biffer says Zodiac. I say Zodiac as well.
I say Zodiac. I haven't seen it, but everybody else is going Zodiac, so I'll go Zodiac.
You don't have to. I mean,
that's a really, really good movie. You'd like that one a lot too.
Out of the two, I would say
criminal
Zodiac.
justice, Hunter.
That's why I voted for it.
Yeah,
it's more at the very least for me. It's more entertaining than Garden State.
Garden State is Zach Braff's first attempt at being a director, and it's also him in a corner going, hey, I'm so awesome, look at me.
I'm guessing where you lie, it's Zodiac.
Yes.
Beer Fest or Love Actually? What?
You're laughing because you already know what I'm going to choose.
I have no idea what you're going to choose.
Of these two.
Right, go ahead.
I like beer.
Okay.
That's another movie that, Hunter, you would actually really like. It's
definitely
a stupid movie about a drinking game competition.
It is ridiculous.
I like that.
It is ridiculous.
Have you ever seen Super Troopers, Hunter?
No, I've been meaning to watch that though.
It's by the same guys who did Super Troopers. Broken Lizard.
Oh boy, it's gotta be funny and stupid at the same time.
Yeah. I also have to go Beer Fest. I love that fucking movie. It's so dumb, but it's so much fun.
It's so fucking dumb. Biffer says Love Actually. Love Actually is a really good romantic movie, like romantic comedy, and it has a lot of like great British actors and everything. But Beer Fest
also has one of the creepiest
ridiculous
storylines of all time in it.
Yeah. If we're going by how good the movie is, it's going to be Love Actually, but beers drank out of a glass shaped as a boot. Watch that, because that's fucking amazing.
Spoot.
Speed or Pearl Harbor?
I want to say Pearl Harbor. History movie, and it's good.
All right.
That's fair.
I'm going to go with Speed because it literally saved Keanu Reeves' career.
I am also going to go with Speed.
Oh, by the way, it also saved his life.
Yes, yeah. It not only revitalized Keanu Reeves' career, it created Sandra Bullock's career, for
Yeah.
better or worse.
Well, it really depends on which side of the coin you're looking at. Anyway, Speed says the chat unequivocally because Pearl Harbor sucks, apparently. Aladdin or Scream?
You'd say Scream.
All right, cool. Chat, go ahead. Oh, my feelings. You're stuck.
Oh no, I already know which one I'm going to pick, and I know which one you're going to pick. I'm going with Scream. We already covered it, and I said it's one of my. I think it was the film that revitalized and reinvigorated the slasher genre. It was dead before 1996.
You would
And New
think I would.
Nightmare was the film that killed
You
it.
would think after we covered Scream, I would pick Scream, but oh no, a plot twist. Mephi picks a Disney movie, and not
Aladdin,
because of
wow,
Disney,
really?
not because it has songs in it, which I hate. I love the story, and Robin Williams is the absolute carry. He carries
Oh
this
yeah,
fucking movie
yeah, he does.
and
He
makes
does.
it from a typical Disney movie into a Disney movie starring Robin Williams as
It should have not been Walt
they
Disney. It
let
should have
him
been
run
Robin
wild.
Williams in Aladdin.
They let him run wild, and it just makes the fucking movie. So I'm gonna pick Aladdin along with the almost unanimous chat. Last one, Love Actually or Napoleon Dynamite.
I haven't seen it on Love Actually
Why?
because two movies at the same time. There we go.
Fine.
There we
Evil
go.
Dead 2.
Now this is an interesting conversation.
Right. To be fair, they're both cult classics, and at the time made $0 at the box office.
Oh yeah.
Like Napoleon Dynamite is considered today like a highly revered cult classic. It did
It made no
nothing,
fucking money.
nothing when it come out. Everybody knows the meme that of this guy dancing. Everybody knows the meme. Not everybody has seen the movie, but they definitely know the meme. I'm gonna pull it up. Just go ahead.
Hunter, what do you think?
Well, I think I've seen Evil Dead 1, and I've also seen the TV show that was on Netflix. It's gone now, so I'm gonna go with Evil Dead.
Oh, that was Ash vs. Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
that was
funny.
funny.
was funny.
I have to go with Evil Dead 2 because I think that was when Sam Raimi got his first really big jump after Evil Dead 2 came out. Evil Dead 2, a lot of those were shot in the same cabin as Evil Dead 1. Some of the bigger, larger shots were still shot in the same gymnasium as the first movie. But it really, the practical effects in Evil Dead 2 are top notch for its time.
It's gonna be Evil Dead 2, and I'm just gonna put 5 seconds on the screen of Napoleon Dynamite. No, we're not gonna get copyright strike. It's basically just the meme.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows this. Like everybody knows this. This is so copied. This particular 5 seconds that I put on the screen was literally taken and put on World of Warcraft as one of the dances of the Blood Elves.
Yep.
Once, yes, one of the dances of the Blood Elves is this dance. It's I think it's the male, one of the male dances.
Yep.
And yeah. This was so famous just for that particular thing that it came into World of Warcraft.
And the movie still made no money.
Movie made no money. No.
It's a lot of a lot of films that became cult classic later down the road, like Fight Club. Fight Club bombed in the box office, but it made all of its money back years later.
I mean, technically, The Matrix didn't do very, very well at the box office that I remember, and it became mega hit.
It did okay, but it became a
mega
hit
once it hit like DVD, not really DVD. It was even VHS at the time. So VHS and DVD. I've watched it the first time. I watched on on VHS.
Actually, Saf had a good point there. Mallrats, but even before Mallrats, Clerks. Clerks was
Yeah, was not.
the
It didn't do a lot of
hugest
money, but
cult
it
hit.
made all of its money back because the budget was $28,000,
$1,000, yeah.
all on credit cards.
Yep.
So it made his money back. Definitely by today's standards. All right, cool. We have a few more scenes to go. Just a few. Basically 2 murders to go.
Yes.
So the first one is
first before this, Matt, before you get to this point,
sure.
we do have to talk about the scene with that between Tom Hagen, a couple of Michael's capos, and Michael, where they're talking about even doing the hit on
Yeah.
Hyman Roth, because he got turned down from Israel, rejected him.
Yeah,
immigrating.
it's the same story that they did with Meyer Lansky at the time. Meyer Lansky always was in Havana. He didn't get like Castro kicked him out like the mafia because they were serving the El Capitan at the time, whatever. The dictator at the time. He went to the US. The US kind of wanted to flip him for the FBI. When he said no, they wanted to arrest him. He escaped to Israel, and because the Israelites were so smart, he was supposed to get, because he was Jewish, he was supposed to get a legit like a citizenship and a passport, and they outright denied him because of his mafia ties. Sent him back. He was arrested and he rot in prison, I think, at the time.
Yep. But what's important about that scene is how the only voice of just not even concern, just more just outright refusal of wanting to have it done is Tom Hagen, because he said there's no reason to do this. He's dying anyway, and like no country's gonna accept him. He's gonna come here. He's gonna go to jail. That's it. He can't do anything to get to you anymore. Michael, you've won. Let it go. And that might, to him, Hunter, how we talked about before, his previous betrayals.
Yeah.
Michael, already being unhinged, is seeing everyone around him like someone's gonna stab me in the back again. Hagen, are you stabbing me in the back? By the way, I heard about this deal you got from an LA casino. Are you gonna take that too? Are you going to leave? Are you going to run away with your wife and your mistress and leave me behind?
Yeah, like Hunter said, Michael got unhinged and he has become full. It's just like Vito got unhinged because he was making sure Vito got unhinged so much after killing the Vincenzo guy back home. He was so full of wrath. He went to Sicily to have revenge on his mom. This is basically the same thing where that kind of K kind of sets him off. And like Saf said in the chat, he went full paranoid. He went full crazy. And now everybody, even Tom, that he had that conversation with at the start of the movie where he trusted Tom with his life. Even Tom was like, are you questioning me? Are you the next guy? And it's like Tom gets it and smooths everything out. And of course, Roth gets that's Pentangeli, by the way.
Yep.
That's where the killing starts. It starts with Tom going to Pentangeli and saying, look, you have to go kill yourself. And he does. And we have that conversation between Kay and the kid where Michael is not there to see it because he can't even look at her or speak to her. And we have the series of killing. You see Pentangeli dies as a result of a suicide. You see
Roth
get shot in the airport when he comes back from Israel. And of course, with the most famous scene is you see Fredo probably praying.
Well,
Probably.
he's saying because he was what he told Anthony is that's why it's kind of ambiguous whether or not Fredo knew whether or not he was going to get killed, because he said he told Anthony, he said, you know what my secret was for always catching more fish than everyone else was, I would always say a Hail Mary before I would cast.
Yeah.
So
And
he's
then
saying a Hail Mary. So it could either be that he's saying his last Hail Mary because he knows he's going to die, or that's just his ritual to catch more fish.
exactly.
You don't know.
And you don't see the killing, but you do see Michael in that window, and you hear that shot. So you know it's gone. And then you have the last scene, which is basically the birthday scene with James Caan that he got paid a bucket load of money
Bunch of
for.
money to, yeah.
A bucket load of money for, I
And,
guess. I
oddly
didn't
enough,
know. But
Hunter, this was the introduction between Connie and her ex.
yes,
Yeah.
Her dead ex.
her dead ex. And it seems like it. I don't know how they did it because they didn't have like de-aging, but suddenly James Caan looks almost exactly the same.
The same, yeah.
And Al Pacino looks younger. I don't know how they did it, but he looks.
Well, even the actor who plays Fredo, he looks younger.
Yeah, even the actor who plays Fredo looks younger. I don't know if it's the mustache. I don't know, but actually, Michael looks like the Michael from Godfather 1 in this scene. I don't know how. Again, it's probably. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. I have nothing more to say. But and it kind of implies that Vito is there, but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
And he's
well, it's
not
for
really
it's
there.
for Vito's birthday, but
And this
that's
is
why they don't show him, because they were gonna have Brando be
Yeah.
part of the scene, but again, Brando just being Brando said, "Nah, I'm not showing up."
And of course, at the very, very last part, you see Michael doing what his dad was doing, sitting outside in the yard, thinking of things, mulling things over, and the movie's done. Movie is completely done.
That's a wrap.
Cool. That is a wrap. Can't even believe we did it under 2 hours. I can't believe it. All right. Let's do summarize. I'll start. Loved rewatching this. Did love the story. I did say at the beginning, I did love it more than the story that was told in Godfather 1. Just because it kind of maybe because I know a little bit about the story, the backstory that they kind of piggyback over, which is real life individuals kind of being morphed into characters in the script, and done in a way that if you didn't know the real life stuff, everything kind of fits. But if you do know, it's like, oh, dude, that must have probably that's how it happened. Along with the Senate inquiries, along with everything, very fitting of the late 50s, right? Around 58, 50. When was the coup? 55, 56 in Cuba. The missile crisis was 58, 59. It had to be.
The Cuban Missile Crisis was in 62.
62?
That was during Kennedy's presidency.
Yeah. Okay. So it's basically late 50s. Same. It fits with the Mayor Lansky story that happened. I think it was 65 or close to 70, by the way.
Yeah.
But kind of fits. It had to happen before 74. That's what all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Way before. Yeah.
And for me, because I know the backstory, it made it much more enjoyable. Hunter?
Yeah, the movie it was a good movie in general. I just think it was way too long. Like there was a lot of scenes in there that they could have cut out. That you would just go into a random scene and these guys would be talking about something that has nothing to do with the next scene or the scene before that. They could have been cut out of the movie. But other than that, it was a good movie.
Cool. All my feelings?
Again, I really, really enjoyed it. I really want to see what Scorsese would have done with it, knowing that fact that Coppola wanted Scorsese to direct it, how it would have been shot differently, how different scenes would have been adapted, because I think Scorsese would have had a different take on it, because his shot by shot analysis and the way that his cinematography is way different. So I really would love to see what he would have done with the film instead of Coppola. That being said, though, I still think it's a fantastic film. I think it overall it's one film that everyone should see at least once.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. That and The Godfather 1, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Still worth, even though you would think it's dated, but if you have the patience to go through them, even though they're pretty long, it's worth the watch just to like soak in the story. All right.
Except for 3.
Cool.
Don't watch 3. Don't watch 3.
Don't watch 3. And let's just say this. The vibe in 3 is so different from the other 2. It almost seems like just because it was made in the 90s, or let's say shot in the late 80s, the tone is different.
Also, it wasn't Francis Ford Copola who directed it.
Yeah.
It was Sofia Coppola.
It was Sofia Coppola. Well,
his daughter directed the third one.
Yeah.
Honor. Yeah. It's fucking
all right. Before we totally end the show, we have a little something that I said was a surprise for Hunter. I try to end every single show with a taste of the movie. We call it the short version. So we're going to watch the short version of The Godfather Part 2. Unbelievably, it's about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Wow.
Here we go.
Wait, let me set this up. And we'll start from the beginning.
Okay. Here we go. The short version.
Don Corleone.
My offer is this. Nothing.
Hyman Roth always makes money for his partners.
And you give your loyalty to a Jew before your own blood.
In 5 years, the Corleone family will be completely legitimate. That was 7 years ago.
But he's weak and he's stupid. Nobody wants another war. It was Hyman Roth that tried to have me killed.
Michael, we're bigger than U.S. Steel.
The family's making an investment in Havana.
We never met. Johnny Ola.
Johnny Ola told me about this place.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
Fredo, come with me! You're still my brother! Fredo!
Kay had a miscarriage. She lost a baby.
I consider it a great dishonor to me personally to have to deny that I am a criminal.
I'm your older brother, Mike, and I was stepped over!
You're nothing to me now. You're not a brother. You're not a friend. I don't want to know you or what you do.
I want to hear about it!
I have my own plans for my future.
Volume was a little low on that one. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
It's fine.
You got it. That was basically it. All right, cool. Before we say our goodbyes, guys, go and follow Hunter on Twitch. Twitch.tv/HunterPros. Hunter, thank you for joining us, man. It was
thanks for having me.
an honor. Always nice to meet new people. Guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter and hassle me, my DMs are open at Mephisto on Twitter or at Mephisto79 on Instagram. And of course, you can always email the show, the Reel McCoy podcast at gmail.com. Give us your comments, or if you don't want to do all of that, just like, share, and subscribe to the channel, comment section down below, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next week, the finale of Gangster Month, with a very, very special movie that probably nobody has seen. It is called Harlem Nights. It takes Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, puts them in a blender together in the movie, and it is all about, I think it's Chicago in the 20s. if I'm not mistaken. It's sort of a parody movie about
it's not
gangsters,
about-
but it's not really. What? It's not?
Harlem.
It's Harlem. That's right. It's Harlem
Come
Nights,
on,
you
man.
idiot. You idiot. It's called Harlem Nights. Yeah, I'm a have you not noticed I'm a big fat idiot? Yeah, Harlem
You're
Nights.
the one who picked this one, so it's on you.
I'm kind of muscling you to watch it. It's called Harlem Nights. It's awesome, and it lost a whole bunch of fucking money, and it kind of put Richard Pryor in the grave as well. No joke.
Outside of free basic cocaine, this is the thing that killed him.
Yes. Yes. All right. Join us next week, guys, for Harlem Nights. Until then, have a great weekend.
Later.